Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Let me see. 7, 8, 7, 3. Okay. All right. So guys, do you remember yesterday's class on the DynamoDB? What we have discussed? So we discussed about the primary key, sort key. Remember? Yes. So what we're gonna do is, so actually this will be taken care by the uh, developers how to create tables. That is not our thing, but still I'm just going ahead and then showing you how to create a table, right? So do you see this? If you go to DynamoDB, the only thing that you can do here is to create a table directly. There is no, like in RDS, there is no instance or something like that. No. So directly you need to create a table. Click on create table. And what is the table that we thought to create? Employee EMP table, all right? EMP table. Okay. So what is the mandatory key that you need to, while creating the table in DynamoDB? It's a primary key, right? Sort key is optional or mandatory? Sort key is optional, correct? So this is what we have learned. Do you see this? Partition key. So partition key, what is the partition key? Employee number. Employee number is the partition key. And then it is a number, right? So I just put the number there. That's a data type. You can go with the binary, number, or string. So I need to start creating a table with only the primary key. Rest, I can do it later. So sort key is optional. I'm leaving it off. We'll come back and create a sort key later. And do you see this here? Table settings. So in table settings, if you go with the default settings, guys, how many read capacity units by default AWS is giving for us in DynamoDB? 5. Do you see this? 5 RCUs and 5 WCUs are there. And you have auto scaling also. Auto scaling on what? Auto scaling on this RCUs and WCUs. You can give some values of 50 RCUs or 100 RCUs. So if at all it requires need more performance, it will scale, it will auto scale it. So these are all the default DynamoDB standard, class is standard. These are all the default things that you will get if you choose the default settings. But do we really need 5 RCUs and 5 WCUs? No need, right? So here, if you want to customize it, do you see this here? Customize settings. If you select customize settings, do you see this here? DynamoDB standard is there. DynamoDB standard IA is there. You know very well clearly about the difference between standard and IA, correct? So standard meaning which is a general purpose table class where you can go and use the data, retrieve or store the data, access the data frequently. This is infrequently. If your table data is frequently accessed, go with the standard. If your table data is infrequently accessed, go with this. So the main difference between is the cost. Okay. Capacity calculator, how to calculate how many WCUs and how many RCUs needs. That is just a calculator for you. And here, capacity mode, on demand and provision. So guys, do you need auto scaling now? So it is provisioned. Do you need auto scaling now? No need, right? So you can off the auto scaling for read capacity unit and write capacity unit, and then change this to 1. Enough, no? 1 RCUs and 1 WCUs is enough, no? Guys, just for testing purpose. So so you can go with on demand also. So on demand meaning it will automatically based on your application performance, the read writes will happen. But provision meaning you can say how much exactly that you need. You can mention it. Is this clear? Capacity mode. Okay. So if you come down, so did we learn about the secondary indexes, LSI and GSI? Yeah. So which is the one which is created at the time of creating a table? LSI, correct? So LSI is the guy, that means local secondary index is the guy who will be at the time of creating table only you can create it. But did we, what is the combination of LSI? Anyone remember that? What is the combination of LSI? Partition key plus any sort key, correct? Any column as sort key, right? So you can create it, but do we have any sort key? We haven't created any sort key. So I'll create this second index later. So do you see this as here? I have given one RCUs and one WCUs. The cost is 0.67 per month. So if you keep on increasing this, let's say I give 100 and 100 WCRCUs, and it is $66. So based on your, so you have to watch out. So do not play with this. So just give only one RCS and one WCS is fine. Encryption is normal. Encryption at rest. Everyone understood how to create a table? All options? Guys, everyone clear? So I'm clicking on create table. What? Srividya, you're asking something? Tags are just key value pair, no? Srividya, you can give it all you want. It's up to you, it's optional, no? So click on create table. So, so do you see this? Not, it's a very minimum, Nitin. So do you see this employee table? So employee table is created, okay? And the status is active. The partition key is employee number and the data type is number here. Provision, how many capacity units? Read capacity unit is 1 and write capacity is 1. And total size, I don't have any data inside the table and the table class is standard. Okay. And now if you select the table, what are the actions that you can do? Update settings. If you click on update settings, so whatever the settings that, so it will go to the overview only. So I'll come back here. So if you select it, explore tags, remove tags, that is fine, delete. Okay, so do you see this? If I go inside this employee table, so these are the same thing that you get it. Okay, see here, overview, indexes, monitoring, global tables, backup, export, additional settings. So if you click on overview, what does the overview contains? Overview contains all your general information about what is the partition key, etc. and all. So do you have any indexes, right? And this is the ARN of your DynamoDB table. What is the class? All the information you have it, and metrics you have it here. And do you see this here? Mainly item summary, get live item count. That meaning how many items you have it, you will get to know. But do we have any items at the moment? Zero. We don't have any items. What are items? Items meaning? Yes, item meaning rows. Correct. So this is an overview of what you have it. If you click on indexes, guys, indexes can be created. Which is the index that can create after creating a table? Hello. What are the two types of indexes we have? LSI, GSI. Correct. So LSI is created at the time of creating a table, which is the index that you can create anytime. GSI, correct? So this is the GSI, global second indexes. You can create it here. So what is the combination of GSI? Any column as primary key, any column as sort key, correct? You can create the indexes here. Monitoring, you can create alarms and you can monitor how much is the read usage and write usage. Global tables. Guys, remember in all the databases till now we have learned, we have this concept called global tables. What is this global tables? If you want to replicate this table to some other region, you can create a replica out of it. Okay, but this is now not possible because what is the, so we have used provision, no, capacity mode. We have used provision. There was on demand and provision. So if you want to see, if you click on edit, we have selected provision capacity mode, correct? So if you want to enable create replica, you need to select on demand. If we select on demand, then only you can able to create a replica. So replica can be created in other region, so that whatever the data you have created, you have put it here in this employee table, will be automatically replicated to the other region. Is this clear on this? Backups, you can take the backups anytime you want, right? Just click on create backup. You can schedule the backup, you can create a backup, give the manual backup, give the name, and then create backup, right? So you can schedule the backup also. This is point in time recovery. Point in time recovery is nothing but backups only, no? Point in recovery provides continuous backups of your DynamoDB data for 35 days, correct? That is for scheduling it. If you want to take the manual backup, just click on create backup and you can take it. You can export to S3. That's how we did it for RDS. And also, I told you that there is a kind of streams, right? What is that streams meaning? I told you it captures item level changes in your table, correct? So if you want to enable it, click on enable, and then what you want to capture only the key attribute of the change item or the entire item after it was changed, before it was changed, or both. So based on the requirement, you just go and select it and you can enable the streams. All your data, whatever you're writing in the table, all the chain logs will go and store it here. Same way here also. If at all you want to create you can use the Kinesis streams also if at all you want. You can export to S3. Additional settings. Additional settings, what does it contains? So anytime, this is called push button scaling, guys. So if I click on edit, so guys, if you see that it's not up to mark, the performance, can you go ahead and increase the capacity units just like to 100 to 200 to 500 and then click on save changes? This is called push button scaling. That means no downtime is required. You just go and mention it and that's it. Auto scaling. So did we time to live? I told you that. What is this time to live meaning? So can we go ahead and then enter the attribute name and then specify the date and time to delete that particular row or right that record? So these all options are all there. So if at all you want to use it, you can use it. Guys, everyone understood all these options? Quite common for all the databases, correct? So now what I will want, what I'll do is, so we don't have any items. Should we go ahead and add a couple of rows items? Do you see this on the top? You have edit capacity. Capacity meaning on demand or what? You can edit the capacity. Update table class from standard to infrequently and delete table, create item. Do you see this? Or you can create index. Index meaning your GSI. Create replica. Replica meaning you can create the replicas to other region. You can export, you can enable TTL. And you can control the policy, who can access what. So here, create item. Do you see this? I click on create item. We have only employee number, no, which is partition key. So I'm giving is 1000. Can I add the items on fly, rows on fly, columns on fly? Right? Do you see this? Add new attribute. I want string. I call it as employee name. So I call it as Nagasai. Okay. Employee name, and next is number. I call it as phone number. Okay. Okay. And then string department. Let's call it as AWS. Okay. I can go ahead and add address. Okay. Address, call it as. Okay, guys. I create this. See, I have dynamically added all these column names, correct? So I click on, guys, you can go with the form view or you can go with the JSON view also. See, like this. So JSON view is nothing but it's a key value pair where you have employee number, n represents number data type, and you give the date. Employee name, string, and name. Phone number, and number, like this. You can add it. Or you can go with the form view, you can go with the form view. Click on create item. Do you see this? Items got created. So read capacity units is consumed 0.5. See. Okay. So should I go ahead and add a couple of columns? So I'll just copy it and then duplicate items. So is it possible for me to add one more 1,000 here? I change all these things. Bangalore, DevOps, and who's here? K Khan. Okay, I change the numbers to something else. Is it possible to create? See, I cannot. Partition key and sort key should be unique, it's saying. So here, I need to change to 1000 to 1001. So I should be able to create see here. Guys, getting it? So here I'm manually adding it all the rows, but in the real time, application will be adding the data here, correct? I should not be adding it manually. So I'll duplicate item. I'll go with 1002. And here, Mumbai. Who is the next guy? Dev SecOps. Okay. So, okay, Said Ali. So this is the number. So can I add one more column, guys? See, string. Can you tell me some salary? Okay, salary. I can add like not 30 lakhs. Guys, see, is that visible in RDBMS? Right? Is that possible in RDBMS, guys? No, you cannot add just like that. Correct? Do you see this? Salary got added, guys, and then rest are all null. So anytime you can go ahead and add the columns just like that, and anytime you can modify it. Everyone understood how to? So here you have scan, or you can query it. So query is always best. Don't go for scan. If you go for scan, it is like select star from table. Query meaning you can tell him, okay, employee table, which attribute, specific attribute, and attribute name, call it as address who is Hyderabad. So you can write, you can specific put it, and then you can write, okay, that was employee number, right? So I put 1000. You see this? We got 1000. You can write the query here itself, or you can use from the application. They will be doing it. Developers, it's making sense for you. Those who know queries, those who know database concepts. Yes. Understood, ma? So what else is there here? So in employee table, so overview, indexes, monitoring, global tables, backup, exports. So basically you can create an item. So get live count. So if you click on stat scan, it's not good, but fine. So how many counts are there? Item counts 3. Correct? This is your monitoring. Did you got DynamoDB also now? Right? The whole thing, all the options here. Can you manage the DynamoDB also? Guys, it will be so easy now because you have learned all the topics. Okay, now let me go ahead and create one more table and show you the sort key concept. So I call it as game table, gamer, game name. Okay, so let me think, how do I put it? So a gamer. Okay, fine. So customize settings. So I off capacities and I'll give only one. So CSC, I'm creating a table called game table. So let's say Kiran is there. Kiran is a gamer. And what is the game name that he has played? Let's say PUBG, right? So Kiran is allowed only to play PUBG, or can he play many games? Many, correct? So let me take that combination and show you the sort key, how it works. Okay. What is the sort key that I have given here? Game name, correct? Okay. So guys, LSIs can be created now. LSI. So create local index. So sort key, which is a sort key? Game name. See, can create a local index here like this. You can create it if at all you want. You can create it. Okay. So I create a table. See, game table is created. Now I go and create an item. See, create item. What is gamer? Gamer is who? And game name. What did he played? PUBG. I'm adding a new attribute. What is it? Status. Huh? What he did? He has won or lost. Let's say he won. Okay. Okay. So guys, see here. Which is the primary key here? Which is the primary key? Everyone. What is the primary key here? Gamer is the primary key. What is a short key? Game name is a short key. So now I'm modifying it. Duplicate it. So now Kiran is a primary key. Game name. So now PUBG. Can you give me one more? What's that? Game name. So Kiran has played PUBG and he won it, right? Free Fire. So let's say he has played Free Fire. Is it possible to play Free Fire? Obviously, yes, no. And he lost it. And now Kiran is the primary key. Is it possible to enable to have a duplicate values? Now it is possible because game name we have changed it. If I use PUBG here, is it possible to create it? No, because see, Kiran is a primary key, it cannot be duplicated. But at least the partition key and sort key must be unique. So if I change from PUBG to Free Fire, and he should be able to create it. Do you see this? Even though Kiran is a primary key here, see duplicate Kirans are available, and now but he can play different kind of games. But combination of grammar and game name should be unique. This is a classic example with the sort key. Yes, this is a composite key only. Guys, understood now? Everyone? So those who are developers, now it is up to you. So you can have a sample application, and developers, the task for you would be, this is not for non-developers. Developers, you can upload data to DynamoDB using any kind of So if you want, do you see this here? So guys, so if at all you want to run some sample application, if you want to access it, start. Program is DynamoDB. So if you want to connect like this, so if you want to do little bit more, so you can go with this, and you can from EC2 instance, how do you connect it with the sample application? You can take it. If you are a Java guy, if you are a .NET guy, if you are a Node.js guy, if you are a Python guy, so how to create a table? Do you see this? Okay, let me give an example. So guys, this is a Python file. So he's importing Boto 3. So create a DynamoDB table. The resource name is this. And see, do you see this here? So it is just to create a table here, right? With the read capacity units of 10, write capacity is of also 10 here. So how to write the data here, right? How to get data here, right? How to query it, how to delete the table through the code. So guys, if you are a developer, if you know the development, you can go with these links and then start doing a little bit more there. From certification point of view, from engineer or AWS architect point of view, so knowing this DynamoDB here, all these things would be more than sufficient. But if you are a developer, I would recommend to go and create a table through the code. If you are a .NET guy, go with that link and set up your .NET SDKs, AWS SDK with the .NET, and then start connecting to this table. Make sense? Got it, everyone? Any questions on DynamoDB? Yes, correct. Can someone answer that? Whatever we have, what I was saying, that's only, Prakash. As an AWS engineer, we no need to do anything here, but I just went little bit more and I teach you DynamoDB. Okay, so because as an architect, you should know aware of what is DynamoDB, but we went deeper also, and whatever the developer is doing, we are doing it here. Okay, we did extra learning. Okay. You were there yesterday, Prakash? We did math, no? What is the math that we did? That is for finding out RCs and WCs only, no? So you should know the requirement, how many, what is based on the requirement, how many reads will be happening per second, how many based on the requirement only, you should go for it. There is no MongoDB, Nitin, directly. So, but there is a MongoDB, there is a new service called DocumentDB, which is compatible to with the MongoDB database service. You can use that if you need. Nitin, yeah. But there is no MongoDB directly, but that is compatible. But if you really need MongoDB, you need to launch an EC2 instance and install MongoDB there. But if you need the AWS managed MongoDB, then DocumentDB is the guy. Any other questions here? So guys, here, same thing. You can export, you can import, you can reserve it, right? And also we have a DAX here. DAX is an advanced topic. The only thing is it is based on the cluster. So if you need to have a super high, excellent, extreme high performance, then go with the DAX. So you can create a cluster and then and then you can what do you call you have an extreme high performance for your tables. But I think this should be fine. Is it clear, guys? Should I go ahead and delete the table? Any other questions you have? Client will not give. We should find out, Prakash. Guys, everyone clear? Any questions? All good? CC? Super, you got DynamoDB also. Okay, so once you are done, just go ahead and delete it. Super. And I was talking about, I said like CloudFront. Do you remember we have discussed quite a lot about CloudFront? No, Murli. Guys, CloudFront. What is this CloudFront used for? CloudFront is used for what? Yeah, caching the data. That's good. Do you remember that diagram that I have on starting days we have learned? Let's say your origin is in Mumbai, correct? I'm giving you time to recollect. Did you recollect it? CDN, huh? Okay. So let me give you a real-time example here. So do you know what is origin? Let's say Mumbai is the origin. Origin meaning is the place where you have the application, correct? Hosted. City. Correct. So where is your application is hosted? You can host it in with on the ELB. You should have a, I mean, EC2 with ELB. You can host it there. Yes. Can you host it in Beanstalk? Yes. Can you host it in S3 website? S3 website is also hosted one, right? So your origin can be mostly these three things, correct? Your origin can be mostly this thing. Is this correct? Yes, even though we have covered, I'm coming up again. Okay. So now your origin is this. Now you go to CloudFront. So as your origin is in Mumbai, that means your application is in Mumbai. How do you give low latency throughout the world? If some guy, let's say from Ireland or some guy from Tokyo, he want to access your application with the low latency, how do you give? Then you need to go to CloudFront and then create a distribution. Correct, Chiti? You need to go to CloudFront and create a distribution. And then while creating a distribution, you need to select the origin. Where is your application? Correct? So you need to point out whether your application is your load balancer or Beanstalk or S3 website. And then you need to give so many options like, hey, what is the cache timing? Remember cache TTL? So you want it in seconds or hours, that it's based on your requirement, you give it. And then you need to select the edge locations. You need to select the edge locations. You want the whole USA or America, or you want Europe side, or you want Asia, right? So based on the content, so or there is something called best performance, performing all. So where exactly that you want to store? So you just select the edge locations, and then finally create distribution. Today, create distribution. Once the distribution is created, it will generate an URL. Okay, it will generate the URL. So what is our application? Let's say boom.com is our boom.com should be redirected to the CloudFront nasty URL, correct? The one it got generated. And then it is pointing to the origin. Origin meaning your application. This is how you should do it. This is in Route 53 record. You need to create it. Everyone understood how this CloudFront architecture, how does it work and all? Chitty, everyone understood. You have so many options in CloudFront while creating it. You can keep rest most of the things default. Whatever you need, you just select it. And there is something called WAF, Web Application Firewall. Okay. Web Application Firewall meaning, guys, whenever someone is hitting boom.com, so there might be so many boochies will be there, no hackers, or so many your DDoS or HTTP flooding, SQL injections. So many nasty things will be happening to your website, correct? Right? So in order to control them, there is a service called WAF, Web Application Firewall. In this, you create a rules, whatever the things that you want to stop, and you can apply that WAF on your application. So there are so many features are there. It's based on your requirement. You just need to go and pull it and use it. So should I show you? And guys, and it also says that you want this with a HTTP or HTTPS or both, or HTTPS manually or forcefully. So it is depend upon you. Should I go and show you quickly how does the CloudFront works? The dashboard, the look. See here, in the CloudFront, you need to create a CloudFront distribution. You see this? And by the way, CloudFront is global. Of course, yes, Kekan. Tomorrow we'll talk on Route 53. So do you see, guys, CloudFront is global city. Remember, guys, CloudFront is global. Okay. You can create distribution. This is what I was. Okay, origin domain. Do you see this? This is what I was talking about, correct? You can have origin in your S3 or a load balancer or any kind of media store, if at all you have. The container meaning your. So you select the origin here, right? Path is optional because if you have any URL to directly get access, put it, give some name here, and then enable origin shield. Origin shield in additional caching layer that help reduce the load on your origin and help to protect its availability. If you want select yes, otherwise no. You can read it, right? So that's connection timeout. And compress objects automatically. Guys, while transferring the objects, while transferring the data or images of your website, it has to be compressed, no? Right? If you compress it, right, the size will be lower and your it will be very fast. So that will be done automatically. But otherwise, I still remember in Nginx we used to write a rule to compress it. Right? You need to reduce the size. That will done automatically. For viewer, it should work with HTTP or HTTPS, or it want to redirect to HTTP or HTTPS. Guys, let's say if you go to Google, I type http://google.com. So if I type this, it will automatically redirect to HTTPS, correct? See? It redirect to HTTPS. So how this is happening? If you want that to happen, redirect HTTP, HTTPS, or you want only HTTPS to be allowed, or both, it's up to you. And HTTP methods in your application. If it is used get head or all these things, you can go for it. Restrict viewer access. So if you want to restrict, you can restrict it more. And caching, you can keep all these things default, guys, in order to bang your head on all these things. And settings, do you see this price class? Use all edge locations for best performance. If you select this, what will happen? Your application will be cached in all edge locations. Whereas if you want to use only North America or Europe, go for it. Or if you want to go with Europe, all Middle East and Africa and all, it's up to you. Based on your client or based on the requirement, you just need to select all these things. I was telling WAF, no? Right? There is a service called WAF. So you can WAF and shield. So protect against DDoS attacks and this malicious traffic and all. So you just create some ACL there, access control list, and then you can choose it here. So whenever someone is hitting your website, this ACL will be triggered and it will check whether that is having any attacks. So if it is attacked, it will not allow to go inside. Otherwise, it will allow. And also here, domain name. What is your domain name? You just put your boom.com here. And if you're selecting HTTPS here, for HTTPS, you need to have a certificate, no? So from where do you get the certificate? From ACM, correct? Do you remember I teach you how you create an ACM certificate? So you create a certificate and you can pull it here. And nowadays it is HTTP2 version. If it allows also HTTP 3 version here, 3.0, it's up to you. That's it. Logging, if you want to log what is happening on CloudFront, you can log to S3 bucket or off it. IPv6, no, not required, but if you want. And then click on create distribution. Once you click on create distribution, based on the origin that you have selected, the URL will be generated and it will take at least few minutes time to create this distribution. Once the distribution is created, the URL will be there. And you take that URL and then create a Route 53 record. And whenever you hit boom.com or your application, that will hit first the CloudFront, that meaning edge locations. And edge locations will be replying back to the client. Guys, understood how to set up your CloudFront to your application? Now it makes sense, all these things? That is not possible, Macha. Siraj bhai. I wrote this no already. Siraj, select the Mumbai origin, go to and select origin, put the cache, select edge locations, create distributions, WAF, create record. Steps यहाँ पे लिखा ना? Do you have any questions? Real-time people, those who are working already in AWS, makes sense? Lot of sense? This will be really useful, kada? This is how we do it in real time, correct, guys? Those who are working in real time? Yes. Any limit of edge locations we can create? I didn't understand. What do you mean by limit here? No. There is nothing that you can select it here. If you come down, this is the only, see, this is the only selection that you do. Okay, Andre. So you should not, there is no way that you can select the number of edge locations. No. If you do is use all edge locations, it will backend automatically AWS will take care. There is no number. Where if you select use all edge locations, throughout, how many edge locations are there? It can be a number of edge locations. It will be all your application will be saved in all those edge locations. You can restrict it based on the continent. There is a question, sir, in CloudFront domain, we should give the nasty URL and that will be auto selected. Shravan, if you select this, that nasty URL will come here under load balancer automatically. I'm there for you. Any other questions? Suresh, do you know that we are using the new console only? We are using new console. What is there? Which one? EC2 also we are, guys, EC2 also we use the new console only, no? Guys, yes or no? Which one, Suresh? If you tell me, then we'll. So at least I'm using all the new consoles. It is forced now to use the new console. The old console is gone. Yes. Everyone are good? All good, guys? Sir, is there any way to configure CloudFront not to cache specific resource URLs? Not to cache specific URLs. So once you have an origin there, you can, but no, Kiran. So not to cache. CloudFront is itself is used for caching purpose now. So you can invalidate the cache. There is something. Once you click on create distribution, there is a concept on invalidate cache, but that is removing the cache basically. But if you're going and using it. I don't usually cover since these years, but it is related to that data, right? So this requires so much of it cannot come out of the blue. There are so many things that it has to be discussed first. Kiran, right? People will go mad. But that will not come under solution architect certification. I think you are now good to explore by yourself, no? All these new things. After this training, what is the exam name we should attempt and where, sir? Guys, respond, no? What is the exam that we should aim for?